Was born and raised in Fort Erie, Ontario. His parents, Pat and Emery, were both teachers. Mr. Tim Hudak graduated from the University of Western Ontario, majored in economics, and then studied at the University of Washington in Seattle on a full scholarship. He received a master's degree in economics in 1993. After graduation, was a customs officer at the Peace Bridge, and then traveled across the country as part of a management team for a major international retailer to grow its operations here in Canada. In the early 1990s, he became motivated to enter politics. Mr. Hudak ran in the provincial election of 1995 and won in the riding of Niagara South. At the age of 27, Hudak was the second youngest member of the provincial parliament, elected in 1995. That same year, Mr. Hudak was appointed parliamentary assistant to the Minister of Health, Jim Wilson. He later served as parliamentary assistant to Wilson's successor, Elizabeth Whitmer. He served as a cabinet minister for 5 years, and in June 2009 was elected the 23rd leader of the Ontario Progressive Conservative Party. He's married to his wife, Debbie, and has a daughter, Miller. Please join me in welcoming a member of the Legislative Assembly of Ontario for the riding of Niagara West, Glanbrook, and the leader of the Progressive Conservative Party, Honorable Tim Hudak.
Well, thank you very much, Tom. Kumusta? And mabuhay, friends. What a great day, a beautiful day to be here at Queen's Park. God is smiling on the Philippines as we celebrate here today. It's a great honor to be here with my colleagues, Steve Clark, my Deputy House Leader, MPP Leeds Grenville, Robin Martin, who's our candidate in Eglinton Lawrence in North Toronto, to gather to raise a flag of the Philippines in commemoration of Philippine Independence Day. And I want to thank very much Tom Tan and Michelle Serrano for being our MCs here today. And of course, a great honor to be joined by the hardworking Consul General, June from Mahilam West. Consul, we appreciate you taking the time to join us in your outstanding work on behalf of the Philippines and Canada. Today, June 12th, one of the most important days in the history of the Philippines, Philippine Independence Day. And on this day, we celebrate the strong nation's independence from Spain in 1898. And those gathered here today, we join in celebration of this proud and rich history. And one doesn't have to look any farther than the flag that we just raised moments ago. The royal blue, which represents peace, truth, and justice, to the scarlet red, which signifies patriotism and valor, and to the white triangle that symbolizes equality and brotherhood. The Philippines flag is a true representation of its independence and its people. If you applaud that, sure. And today's flag raising also an opportunity for all of us from all three parties and the Speaker to celebrate the contributions made by the Filipino-Canadian community. For over 80 years, men and women of Filipino origin have been calling Canada proudly home. They have made a long trek and chosen to come of anywhere in this world to this place. The values of hard work and family prominent in the Filipino community, values shared by our Conservative Party across the province and my team here at Queen's Park. And whether it's Senator Tobias and Verga, the first Filipino-Canadian elected to public office in Toronto and now in the Senate, the former president of the Philippine Independence Day Council, Chris Reyes, the host of Global Morning's television show, Filipino Canadians spending countless hours in public life building a stronger, more prosperous, proud province of Ontario. And I want to thank the Philippine Independence Day Council for organizing today's outstanding flag raising. Your hard work ensures the Filipino community of Ontario is active, supported, strong, celebrating its rich culture and rich heritage and its culture. And I look forward, friends, to that opportunity to work with you to create a stronger, more prosperous, more confident province of Ontario. On behalf of the PC Caucus, my warmest congratulations and celebration of Independence Day. Salamat po. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tim Hudak. Our next speaker was sent by Andrea Horvath, who leads the New Democratic Party of Ontario. He is Michael Prue, the Member of Provincial Parliament from Beaches, East York. He is the former counsel to the Minister of Employment and Immigration. He served the community as a councillor for the City of Toronto before making the move to provincial politics. Please welcome Michael Prue.
Mabuhay. I just listened and all those things they said about me was true, but I want to tell you a couple of other things. First of all, I worked in the immigration department for 20 years before I became the mayor of East York. And in those 20 years, 5 million people came to this country from all over the world. They came for themselves, but they especially came for their children. They came to a new land. A very difficult time was had, I'm sure, by almost all of them. And from amongst that group, perhaps the very best immigrants were those from the Philippines. And I say that not just because I'm here with Filipinos, but because it was absolutely true. They came with an ethic of hard work. They came here with the love of their family. They made sure that those who were left behind were sent money each and every month. They came here, they did, and I see people laughing, but that was absolutely true. They came here to build a new life, to get educated, and they worked their way without ever making a mistake through the immigration process. And that whole time for 20 years that I worked in the immigration department, I don't ever remember a single case of a Filipino being in trouble with the law. Not one. So that's what I did for 20 years, and then I became the mayor. And the mayor of East York and I had the privilege over those years to go to a thing called Caravan. And Caravan, the very best pavilion in the whole of the city of Toronto, was the Manila Pavilion in East York. And I went there every year to open it up and to talk to the beautiful people who were there, to eat the Filipino food, to talk about the history and the culture of the Philippines, but especially to thank those who were at Caravan, those who came to participate in it, for bringing the Philippines to us. Because it is you have a unique and wonderful culture, all of you. And to share it with us on those days and today as well is truly wonderful and breathtaking to me. I want to say to all of the Filipinos who are here, and especially to the younger ones, be very proud of your heritage. Be very proud of where you come from. Teach your children to be proud, to be Canadians, but also, with pride in their voice, tell them to say, "Ako'y Pinoy." Because it is the combination of being Canadians, being Filipinos, singing the two songs with all of your heart that tells me everything I learned in immigration is absolutely true today. Now I'm going to just finish, and I don't know how well I'm going to say this. I've been practicing it. Maliganyang ara ng kalayan.
Our next speaker is Jennifer Mahulum West, our Consul General of Toronto. She was born in Surigao del Norte and is married to John West. She's a graduate from the University of the Philippines, Diliman. Yay, my alma mater. From the Foreign Service and a minor in Asian Studies. She's held previous positions in Manila as a special assistant to the Office of the Undersecretary for Policy. She's a member of the Bids and Awards Committee for the Department of Foreign Affairs. She's the Vice President of Uniforce with the Department of Foreign Affairs. And the previous assignments abroad, she's been with the Philippine mission to the United Nations and other international organizations in Geneva. She was also in the Philippine Embassy in Paris from 1995 to 2001. She's very fluent in French, Filipino, Cebuano, and apparently she can speak and understand a little bit of Waray and Ilonggo. So please join me in welcoming our Consul General of Toronto, Juniper Pahilum West.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Good afternoon to all of you. It's such a beautiful day. Maligayang kalayaan ng Pilipinas. Happy Independence Day to the Philippines. I would like to share with you my feelings today, hearing from the officials, Madam Premier, Mr. Speaker, distinguished officials of Ontario and the leadership of the political parties here in Ontario, how they are very respectful and how they value the Filipino community here in Toronto. It's very inspiring, and I can assure you that it makes my job as Consul General and our job, my colleagues in the Consulate General here, much easier. I have been here for 1 year, and in all the time, I have the officialdom of Ontario and other provinces here in Canada have conveyed to me how they welcome and how they value the Filipino community here in Canada. And congratulations to all of you. We have to nurture our place in Canadian society. We have to nurture our image, and we have to think of how we can contribute to nation building here in Canada as well as in the Philippines. So maligayang kalayaan, araw ng kalayaan ng Pilipinas. Mabuhay po tayong lahat, mabuhay ang Pilipinas, mabuhay ang Ontario, mabuhay ang Toronto. And now, I know that medyo mainit po yung araw, kaya i-convey ko na lang po sa inyo ang mainit na greetings ng ating Pangulo, si His Excellency Benigno S. Aquino III. We join the international Filipino community in commemorating the 115th anniversary of the proclamation of Philippine independence. More than a century ago, our forebears fought for freedom, granting every Filipino the right to pursue what is good and right for himself, his loved ones, and his country. Their sacrifices had not been in vain. Today, our people remain united in independence and are now fighting another battle to free ourselves from the shackles of ignorance, corruption, injustice, and poverty. May you ignite the patriotism and bayanihan spirit in your hearts as together we build and fortify the structures on which our nation is built. May this event be an opportunity to further promote our cultural heritage and uphold the Philippines' revived distinction in this globalized multicultural milieu. We are our country's modern-day heroes in this period of revitalization. Let us work as one collective, playing our part as custodians of peace and democracy, and as stakeholders in our movement towards equitable progress and lasting reform. May you have an engaging and meaningful celebration. Signed, Benigno S. Aquino III. And in conclusion, I just would like to convey our heartfelt thanks to the Legislative Assembly of Ontario for giving us this beautiful space to commemorate our Independence Day. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat po, kagalang-galang na Juniper Pahilum West. I specifically asked Tom if I could introduce the next speaker, only because I know her more than Tom. She is the founding president of the Federation of Filipino Canadians, a past president of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce Toronto. She was appointed Ontario Business Ambassador. In the past, she served as a council member of the Toronto Police Chief Advisory Council. She currently sits as a council member for the College of Nurses of Ontario. She received the Queen's Silver Jubilee Medal and most recently the Diamond Jubilee Medal. Her most important role in life is as grandmother to Monica and Morgan, and of course, my mother. Please welcome Monina Lim Serrano. Yes, I'm sure.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends, mga kababayan. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Good afternoon. This year's Independence Day theme is Kalayaan 2013. Ambagan tungo sa malawakang kaunlaran. 115 years ago, in Cavite El Viejo, translated Old Cavite, now Kawit Cavite, General Emilio Aguinaldo declared the independence of the Filipinos and the birth of the Philippines, Asia's first republic. Today, in the Philippines, President Benigno S. Aquino III led the 115th celebration of Philippine independence sa Liwasang Bonifacio in Manila. Flag-raising ceremonies in different cities in the Philippines were held simultaneously. Here in Canada, many Filipino Canadians will also commemorate Philippine independence. Last weekend, we have Markham Civic Center, Nathan Phillips Square, and this morning at Toronto City Hall. In Ottawa Valley, His Worship Mayor Jim Watson declared June 9 to 16 Philippine Heritage Week, and now here at Queen's Park, the seat of the provincial legislature. Although this year's celebration at Queen's Park is sponsored by the Provincial Liberal Caucus, I would be remiss if I do not acknowledge that Jim Brown, an MPP for the Conservative Party, was the first member of provincial parliament that invited the Federation of Filipino Canadians to raise the flag at Queen's Park. The rest, as they say, is history. To the Provincial Liberal Caucus, the Filipino Canadian community acknowledges your support in making this event possible. Premier Kathleen Nguyen, I guess she left already. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join the celebration of this event. We are honored with your presence. The Honorable Michael Cotto, Minister of Citizenship and Immigration, thank you for gracing this occasion. Paul and Salma, and also Zubair of the Premier's Office, thank you for organizing this event. The Honorable Dave Vivek, you're here, MPP and Speaker of the House. You have always supported the Filipino community. I don't think you have missed a single flag raising event in I don't think you have missed a single flag raising event. If the invitation still stands, we will visit you in your riding. How's that? To our Consul General Junver Mahilum West, who is the official representative of the Philippines, I am sure by now you have warmed up to the Canadian weather and of course, the Filipino-Canadian community. Salamat po kahit saan, pare-pareho ang mga Pilipino. Salamat na the invitation, pinaunlakan mo ang aming imbitasyon. Daghang salamat. Philippine Independence Day Council, headed by Norma Carpio. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Jeff Ruscha of Canada, Philippine Fashion Week. There is a long list of people to thank. Sid, thank you, you're here. I know you're here. Our MCs, Michelle and Tom, our entertainers, the media, the many Filipino associations present today. I may not mention all your names, but rest assured, taus-puso po ang pasasalamat sa inyong suporta sa pandalo sa araw na ito. Sa ating OFW, ang bagong mga bayani ng ating bansa, thank you. Kaunting pasensya at tiyaga. Sabi nga, pa-weather lang. All of us chose Canada as our second home. Thank you, Canada, for the opportunity to live in a country where differences are celebrated and respected. I am proud to be a Canadian, but I also love the land of my birth. As Dr. Jose Rizal, our national hero, in his book, Noli Mitangere, there is a line that best describes my sentiments. Even if my country does seem to have forgotten me, I have always thought about it. In closing, I will keep saying the words of Emilio Aguinaldo, the first President of the Republic of the Philippines, until it is ingrained in every Filipino. We cannot free ourselves unless we move forward, united in a single desire. Always, we cannot free ourselves, let us ingrain that, unless we move forward, united in a single desire. Ang kaunlaran ng isang Pilipino ay kaunlaran ng lahat. Itaguyod natin ang isa-isa. Let us all be united and let us make a difference. Long live the Philippines! Long live Canada! Mabuhay tayong lahat! Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.